over the country, something is stirring. A yearning to live life differently.
Look at this!
People everywhere are thinking again.
Just sort of like taking in the moment. It's so nice.
Recognising that life is short.
One last adventure before dementia.
And tearing up the rule book.
Imagine if, like, you hadn't have done it. Hate or what if. Yeah, exactly.
So where do you begin if, like me, you want to change your life?
This is the driveway and half. Hold on to the dog. Oh, I've got the dog.
I'm Sophie Morgan, and I'm on a road trip around the UK and beyond.
Yes, life. Thank you.
Meeting people who have already made that change.
I just want to leave the world in a better place for my daughters.
Do you know when you finally find a purpose and you finally find like your calling?
We're like, oh, we're not proper farmers.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you gotta fake it till you make it.
To build new lives around the things they love.
Sophie, look over there.
This is what life is all about.
I have now lived 18 years as a non-disabled person and 18 years as a paraplegic, and I'm at a crossroads in my life. I'm thinking about what I want to do next and how to make sure I make the most of my life. So I'm heading out to find out what's possible. And I'm starting my trip heading north, towards the Arctic Circle.
After a 3-hour flight from London, a further hour flight from Helsinki, and then a 2.5-hour drive, I'm now in the Arctic Circle in Lapland. And it's absolutely beautiful, but freezing cold.
I'm in a little village called Sala to meet a couple who left Britain 2 years ago for a life in the cold.
I think because of the connotations it has with Christmas and just being so cold and far away that it certainly doesn't feel like somewhere you'd actively want to move to. But these people have, so I'm really excited to meet them. Hello.
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 Hi, I'm Sophie.
Bex, hi.
Bex, hi.
Welcome.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, what have we got here?
We thought we'd go shopping before we come and got you because we're quite far out in the wilderness. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay, well, should we get loaded up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So how long will this last you?
We probably go out like once every 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. When it's minus 30, minus 40 degrees Celsius. You don't want to go out that often.
Okay, let's get on the road.
Yeah, let's
Absolutely.
do this.
Oh, snow's coming down.
It's really coming down now.
We might be at Bex and Steve's local shop, but there's still an hour's drive to get back to their house.
I mean, the perception that one has of Lapland or of this part of the world is so definitely, you know, that fantasy, that kind of Christmas feeling. It doesn't disappoint. It's not like you get here and go, oh, it's not like that. It's like a fairyland.
Oh, it's Narnia.
When they lived in Buckinghamshire, Steve worked as an engineer and Bex in admin for the NHS.
Why here?
We knew we wanted to emigrate for a long time.
Right.
We talked about emigrating. We've been married 20 years this last year, so we met when we were 14. Like, we've grown up together. We went to school together.
Wow.
We'd said we don't want to end up just living a life that we go to work, we earn money, we buy a bigger house, we have bigger cars. Like that. We never wanted that. It wasn't what life was about. We wanted to just design our own day, I guess.
That's a lovely thing to say, design your own day.
Yeah.
Is this home?
This is where we live, yeah.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
My support worker Alec made the journey with me and is on hand to help me through the heavy snow.
The arrival into this place is so impressive. civilization drops away, and slowly, as you're kind of driving along, it just becomes more and more intense, the number of trees and the snow, and then before you know it, there's very little around. And then there's nothing, and then you arrive.
Come on, boys. Hi, hello. What are my names? This one's Quinn. This is Rudy. Hi, Quinn. This is the last wilderness in Europe. So the municipality that we live in is Sala in the middle of nowhere. We live in the literal middle of nowhere.
This is actually what that means.
Yeah,
It's
so
the middle of nowhere.
this is
officially the middle of nowhere.
The middle of nowhere. If you're going to move to the wilderness,
Yeah.
you may as well move to the middle of nowhere.
No messing around.
A lot of the houses in the area have been abandoned for decades, with locals moving to the cities for work. Some can be bought for as little as £15,000 because they are so run down. Steve and Bex spent their first 4 months here making this 1950s farmhouse habitable, renovating in Arctic conditions.
From the outside, it looks quite basic, but you come in here, you've got all the mod cons, you know,
Yeah.
it's really homely.
We didn't move to the wilderness to live uncomfortably. It was more about the environment that we wanted to be in and the lifestyle we wanted.
You haven't wanted to make your life more difficult
No.
inside your own home. It's
No.
when you step out there, that's when it starts to get
Yeah, that's
challenging.
the challenge. Yeah.
So what we got, what's in the bag of essentials?
Oh, God. Weirdly, we eat probably more processed food now than we used to. Just because we have to. We kind of don't have the luxury of being able to cook from fresh so much because we're so far out from the towns and from those kind of amenities that it's not possible to keep that sort of thing in. Got some reindeer sausage.
Let me see. Oh, wow, I've not had that before. Is it a bit of a staple?
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah. All of our neighbours would eat reindeer as a standard kind of meat. Reindeer and moose are the two staples, really. What's this?
Central heating boiler.
Okay.
So runs on wood, as most good Finnish properties do. Basically, it just heats our radiators like a normal household boiler.
So how much wood do you need to heat the house?
Well, this last winter we got through about 30 cubic metres of wood, and we've got very little left, so we need to cut some today.
Are you an expert wood chopper now?
No.
No. Oh, good to know, right? Who's using the chainsaw?
This guy.
This guy? all right, okay, I'm off. It's quite deep, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, it gets really deep down here because the ground dips down here, so it gathers the deepest.
How deep is it?
It's probably about 4 foot down here.
Okay.
This wood will only do us probably, I reckon, like in the deep winter, this might be probably a month's worth, maybe 6 weeks at a push.
That's a month's worth of wood?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Wow. So how much are we doing today?
We'll do some of this.
Yeah, we can.
Make a good dent in that pile.
Yeah, for sure,
we
yeah.
do little and often. We don't do everything in one go here.
Right. You've got to do this for a certain reason.
Absolutely. We get snow for quite a lot of the year, and with the house being heated with wood, then we have certain time scales where all this has to be done. From cutting the trees themselves, we do that in winter because that's when they're the driest. And we try and get it cut as early as possible after being felled so that they have as long enough to dry so that we have it all ready to go for 2 winters' time.
So it takes 2 years for the wood to dry out before you can use
Ideally.
it. It's not something you want to make a mistake on then, because if you run out,
Yeah,
you're
for
going
sure.
cold.
Lapland stuff, isn't it? You need heat. You can't live out here without heat, and this is our heat source.
Some of the bigger pieces will need chopping down. If you could help with chopping
Yeah.
them, splitting them down
Wield
into
an
half,
axe.
that'd be great.
She says. Oh my God, Steve! It's like a brick.
I said you wanted the challenge.
How do you know how to do Lapland stuff?
This wood came from a neighbour of ours, Tuopi, from his forest. They kind of helped us with all of that sort of stuff. And basically it works on kind of a system of we help him fell his wood, he helps us fell our wood. And for that, we kind of don't have to cross any money for this. And it's a nice part of the community.
Because I feel like you need some sort of like wilderness training to get here. Or do you not?
It would help. It would definitely be beneficial. I wouldn't suggest that anybody just moved out here.
We're 2.5 hours away from the nearest hospital. If anything happens, it's a heli-med situation.
Okay.
So from that perspective, you know, if you're going to move to the wilderness, have some good first aid skills, be confident in a crisis. But then equally, you can't really go through life looking for what's going to go wrong. You've got to live for what's happening in the moment and enjoy that, haven't you? If you spent your whole life thinking, well, what would I do in this and what would I do in that, you'd literally never do anything. That's it.
Is it harder out here, the lifestyle, than you thought it would be?
Only in the summer.
Why is that?
Winter's easy, you just keep warm in winter. Summer is really difficult because we live in the middle of the forest, we live in the Arctic Circle, we get a lot of bugs, we get thousands of mosquito, we get lots of deer fly, we get lots of horse fly, and there's about probably 6 weeks.
A month to 6 weeks where the bugs are just relentless,
Yeah.
and every single one of them is out for your blood.
It was the only time where I just stood there and I thought, this is more than I can cope with.
And what did you do in that moment?
Cried,
Right.
and then put a face net on and came back out and started working on the house. Nice.
Nearly there.
Yeah! Oh, God, I'm going to be here the rest of my life.
Yay!
How much time do you spend doing this a day, Steve?
Maybe 1 to 2 hours a day.
Seriously, that much?
Yeah.
Everything we do here, we do for ourselves. Like, it's all part of just being able to live like this, isn't it? And being able to live out here.
Are you two peas in a pod? You both had the same agenda, the same intentions. You were made for this life?
We always wanted something slightly different, but until we came here, we didn't really know what that looked like.
Our lives in England weren't bad. It wasn't that. We didn't not enjoy our lives. We weren't enjoying them as much as we wanted to be.
Okay.
That was kind of the thing, wasn't it? Is
Yeah.
that we seemed to just be working all of the time
right.
and trying to fit in the fun times. That wasn't making us happy.
So it was sort of satisfactory. It wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I think it feels more balanced. We live our lives by the seasons, we live our lives by the daylight, we live just differently, which
And
is what we
with each other.
wanted. Yeah.
Is it worth it?
100%.
Yeah, of course.
With no
Wouldn't give it
hesitation.
up for a world.
So coming here and seeing just how extraordinary their life is, though they've had to change their jobs, they've had to leave family behind, they've had to move to a huge different country, but they've taken it all so much in their stride.
And as much as I might think it feels like a lot of hard work, really, for the payoff, doesn't seem like it is.
It makes you feel, well, if they can do this kind of thing, then, you know, why don't we all make these drastic and exciting changes? Yeah, it's inspiring. I'm waking up in Lapland, and it is absolutely stunning. I want to find out if I could live somewhere like this, and how Bex and Steve deal with being so isolated.
Show me how this works.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to jump on and see how everybody is, see what's going on.
They're sharing their new life via social media, live streaming their environment to followers from all over the world.
Upstate New York, hi Kitty Cat, wow, what time is it in New York? Blimey. Hi Shannon, you're new. Hi Shannon. My name's Bex, by the way, so we are Bex and Steve. We moved out here from the UK to the Arctic Circle. So this is the view from our living room window. We live out here in the forest, which is pretty cool. And it's just a bit of a day-to-day vlog of our lives out here. So yeah, welcome. Welcome to Lapland, mate.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. But I can see why they do it. They don't speak the language. There's a few neighbours, but very far away, and that not all of them speak English. So it's a clever solution to what could otherwise probably be an issue.
What about kids for you two? Is that something that you weren't interested in? No.
Not
Yeah.
something that
Not
was
for
going to
you.
happen. Well, it wasn't going to happen for us is essentially what the thing is. So we went down that route. We tried all of those things. We ran that gamut for years.
Did you?
Yeah, for probably 10 years. But one of the real releasing moments of that was we would never have done this if we were raising children, because we wouldn't expect them to live this lifestyle. We wouldn't expect them to live out in the wilderness and not have friends around and to travel miles to school. If we'd have been lucky enough to have that lifestyle, we absolutely couldn't have had this one.
Okay. So this, for you, is the silver lining of not being able to have a different life that you've wanted for yourselves?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. As somebody that's been dealt a hard card in life, and I now live a different type of life, I really empathise with you, because it makes me think, now you've got this other life, and you both seem so very fulfilled.
Well, that's one of the big things about being here, isn't it? It's what we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it, and we don't have those same...
Live life on your terms.
Same responsibilities, which is nice.
I'm so pleased for them that they found something that could fill that otherwise what could have felt like a void, so that they don't live with a sadness or a what if or a regret. Because that's what really can eat your life up, if you spend the whole time thinking, what if I could have lived that other life in that other way? And then, you know, you can get sadder as you get older. Life can be brutal. And so I think it's really lovely to see that they've thought outside the box and thought, if life isn't going to be exactly how we want it to be, we will make it exactly how we want it to be in a different way. I'm curious to know how Bex and Steve can make a living here.
Oh my God, this is sick.
So they're taking me to see a business idea they've come up with.
The last thing you'd expect to see in Lapland.
We think it's the only one in the Nordics.
Let's get inside, I want to check it out.
They plan to generate income through a holiday rental and are putting the finishing touches to this live-in American school bus.
Oh my God, look at this. Jeez, it's not what I imagined. This is so nice.
It was imported from New York, and they renovated it themselves with local materials and timber.
How important is it that this makes money?
Really important, yeah.
Really?
We've put everything into this entire thing. You know, when we moved here, we had a budget somewhere around £125,000, but that was to kind of cover everything.
We need to start making money
Yeah,
to be able to survive for the future.
You've got no form of income at the moment?
But we haven't had any income since we left the UK.
Oof.
I know. We still need to build up savings again. We need to have a plan for when we're older and we're not earning money. It's certainly getting tight now, you know, we need it to work.
How many bookings do you need of this?
We can get by with maybe 78 nights a year sold.
Okay. Have you had any bookings yet?
We've had one. It's really exciting to be able to think about sharing it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not leaving. As much as they seem confident in the success of the business and the bus, there is a lot riding on it. If they don't book it out, there are hints that they would have to then, you know, make a plan B. I worry for them.
It snows for over 5 months of the year.
Yeah, it's quite a lot fallen, isn't it?
There's at least an inch since this morning, I think.
And being so isolated, Bex and Steve have to be prepared for any emergency that might mean they need to get out in a hurry.
So we just move it off here.
Every day.
In the dead winter, it's a daily occurrence.
Wow, yeah.
Without fail, they have to clear the snow.
Is that hoovering outside? Really satisfying, especially when it's just freshly done and it's all flat and lovely.
Do you think about moving into the wild? And I've had a small taste of the kind of graft that would be required to live here, and it's a lot. I wouldn't want to be doing this every single day.
But when the jobs are done, they can enjoy the perfect landscape. You can ski right from their front door. And a couple of miles away, there's a frozen lake where you can snowmobile, something I can't wait to do.
You just chuck me on the top of it. Sweet. Thanks. Is this the best bit of your whole life?
One of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think there's
no shortage of best bits around here.
The reason why today is so special for me is because just after my injury, I was about maybe 3 or 4 months post leaving hospital. I was freshly paralysed and I was very frightened of the world and what I could or couldn't do, and I was certainly being told by a lot of people there were a lot of things I couldn't do as a paraplegic.
You ready?
Yeah!
And basically my family kind of decided to almost ignore the advice I'd been given by the doctors and take me out to Canada to visit some family friends. And when we got there, they put me on the back of a snowmobile and I shot across a frozen lake. And it was this lightning bolt moment of, wow, there's a lot I can still do. And it just made me realise that there's a lot of self-limiting beliefs that we have for ourselves and that people put on you. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I've got to rip up the rule book and do my own thing and start living how I want to live.
Sophie, look over there.
Oh, yeah.
This is what life is all about! You forget about the cold, all you see is the beauty. All you see is the twinkling of the snow and the sunlight, and you just think, this is what we're here for. It's very precious. It's just so wonderful. You just shared a lived experience that's really special, and you've made a memory, and you're doing something that makes you feel like alive and full of purpose and happiness. It's just a really there's a human connection there, and it's just, oh, it's what I live for.
God, that's fun.
I'm nearing the end of my time with Bex and Steve, so where better for a goodbye drink than under the Arctic night sky? Hey, hey, hey!
You back?
Yes, love, thank you. What temperature do you think it is?
Easily going to be 15 below tonight, I reckon.
Would you do this normally?
Yeah. If we're lucky enough to see the Northern Lights, we'll be out here at minus 38 before now. Life's for living, isn't it?
To that, to a beautiful day, well spent.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Oh,
You're welcome.
thank you.
What would you say to people that think that they couldn't do what you've done?
You're never going to be 100% certain
No.
that something's going to work. And whether it works or whether it doesn't work, at least you've tried.
I think it's really inspiring. They've got this lovely synergy. They've got a partnership. It's meant that they can survive out here in perhaps a way that many other couples might not.
I mean, you've done amazingly, though. Like, without your skills, we would not have... Like, this house, the bus, everything in a year. Like, it's insane. It's
Oh,
insane.
do you not take compliments well, Steve? I can see it.
I just get on with things.
Sure. But it is an important point to make that actually the two of you have really depended on each other to be able to create this dream.
Yeah.
For one another.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I'm so happy for you both. Can wine freeze?
Yeah.
Oh,
Get it down, yeah.
get it down here. I think I'll come away not thinking what kind of people can live this life. It's more I've learned what kind of relationship can sustain this adventure, this dream, and what sort of and I think the main ingredient here really is just love. Oh, look!
Oh, wave now.
Go on.
And there, look, there.
Yeah. Oh. Yes, life. Thank you.
It'll be different every time.
Yeah.
No one else will ever see this.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. No one else will ever see this.
No.
Oh, this is magic. I came away from Lapland in awe of Bex and Steve's relationship, but also knowing that life there would not be achievable for me. I'm back in the UK in search of a more compatible lifestyle. I crossed the Irish Sea and I'm travelling to County Down in rural Northern Ireland. I've arranged to meet up with Alex and Michael in the little village of Saintfield. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, I'm Sophie. Nice to
Hey,
meet you. How are you?
Good, yeah. Flat
Nice
out.
to meet you.
Yeah, we're not bad at all.
Got a full van?
We grow this on we have a little small sort of farm about 3 miles down the road. So we're just delivering into the wee shop here. We just delivering here.
With a big batch of produce unloaded, I'm hitching a ride back to Alex and Michael's home. It's just a stone's throw from the rugged shores of Strangford Loch.
We live in something called a tiny house, so it's just a little tiny mobile house built on a trailer. We built it ourselves, so we saved a lot of money that way.
This is your driveway?
It's our driveway.
Oh, check it out.
Very
Fancy driveway.
Look at this! Oh, what? That's sick!
It's quite a nice little idyllic spot we have too. Yeah, welcome to the tiny house.
Oh my God. So cute. Invite myself in. I want a nosy.
Lenny.
Hello, Lenny. Hello. Hi. Who's this? Oh, no, okay, no. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Come on in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Thank you very much.
Seriously. So give me the tour, roughly. I know we can see everything from here.
It's very simple, just like really nice sort of like lounging sofa. And then the kitchen, it's kind of mine to me and
And then back here is the sort of tiny bathroom, so shower on this side, toilet on this side,
Yeah.
and then the little log stove, yeah.
I love this. I think the solar panels outside as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all off grid apart
Yeah.
from the water.
Where's your bedroom?
So our bedroom's just up there. There's a king size bed up there.
Cool. It's so well, set out.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do the tiny house?
Good question.
Thank
Was
you.
it just to do with money?
Yeah.
We got back from traveling and we were kind of back in our parents' house.
Yeah.
We love our parents, but we needed like our own space and we didn't want to commit to a mortgage or like.
We just didn't want
so,
that
like,
hanging over us.
It made
so-
sense to have like a base that we could move about. So if we went traveling, we could come back and
Yeah.
we could rent it out. Or,
Just somewhere that's your own space, but not, a massive sort of commitment to a certain location, or because we didn't really know what we were going to do. And we love it. Like you just come down the hill here, and there's no one else about. It's kind of like a little holiday retreat.
Little sanctuary.
Yeah, it's just a nice space.
So what were the costs involved in building it?
So it came to about 18,000 in all, but I'd say.
not a lot.
I mean, we did it all ourselves. So I did all the plumbing and electrics myself, just watching videos online. But I didn't do the gas. I was kind of drew the limit at that. It's all built. The width and the height is all to road towing limits. So in theory, it can be towed on the road.
So where did you come to learn about tiny houses?
We lived in New Zealand for a while, and it's a big movement in New Zealand, so it's sort of a normal thing there to live in tiny houses. And
Yeah.
we got to live in a tiny house for like a couple of days, and we were
Yeah.
able to like see what we liked about it and like what spaces worked for us.
It's not for everyone, but
Yeah.
we
How
live in-
come?
you can't just go out and get whatever you want or bring anything into the house, because it's packed out. Every space is packed out, so you just
Yeah.
kind of got to be careful.
So it's got to be the bare essentials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to think this is all you need. It's not like you're kind of craving anything more, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Like I don't think we would ever have a big house, because we just paid this off as we did it, so it means we didn't have any debt or anything to worry about.
You've given yourself the opportunity for complete freedom, basically.
Basically,
Yeah.
It makes me think, right, what do I want to do differently? I'm always thinking that anyway, but I think there's something about the tiny house particularly that's so appealing because it gives you this sort of flexibility. If you don't know how to settle or how to make permanence or how to make a decision on something, it gives you that freedom. By creating their low-budget home, Alex and Michael were also able to use £12,000 they'd saved to start a regenerative farm. Something I'm keen to understand more about.
Welcome to Four Leaf.
Thank you. So what am I looking at? What's the layout?
So this is our polytunnel, our main polytunnel, and up there is like the main gardens, the no-dig beds, and where we do like most of our growing.
Yeah,
but in
that's
here
the main
is
growing
like
space.
tomatoes and
Chilies
aubergines and
yeah.
chilies. We'd love you to help us harvest some spinach.
Yeah.
if that's okay.
Of course I can.
It's pretty easy. We just start picking them, they snap off pretty easily.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like that.
So how did you get into regenerative farming and what exactly is it?
I guess it's not really any sort of specific way of farming. It's more of an ethos, sort of mimicking natural patterns and natural cycles in nature, just to kind of, a lot more sort of sustainable way, improving biodiversity, improving the soil.
So the rules are less chemicals, more
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah?
yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So what were you doing before?
I mean, we both went to university, so I did design engineering.
Yeah, I did fashion and textiles at a local university as well.
So very skilled for farming, the two of you.
Yeah.
And what was the main reason then for going from what you were doing into this?
Yeah.
I kind of had a light bulb moment, and I was putting this like sparkly jacket on this mannequin, and I was like, why am I doing this? Like, does anyone really need another sparkly jacket? Like, and I'm like, I kind of want to do something more meaningful, like leave the world a better place if I can.
And we've always been into sustainability as well,
Yeah,
I think.
like,
So, like our career paths didn't really align with that, and we were just...
So you felt exactly the same?
We used to volunteer up a little walled garden. Was doing these little veg boxes subscription thing. And I was just so inspired. Like every time I came, I just felt so relaxed. Wow. I was like, oh, maybe I could do this. You know, it's like...
So it's really just about finding something that would align with your values more than anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Yeah, and farming just felt natural because that was something that you loved.
Bit mad.
Do you think it was mad?
I think farming's maybe quite a hard industry to get into
is.
Maybe.
if you've no
We
experience.
have no experience.
I think that's why we feel a lot of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of feel like, yeah, because we're like, oh, we're not proper farmers,
Yeah.
you know. But like, we're producing all this stuff. But,
You look
you
pretty
know,
proper to me.
yeah.
This looks pretty impressive
I
to
know,
me.
but yeah.
It's just...
Well, you gotta fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
That's it, exactly, yeah. That's definitely what we're doing, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So far, Alex and Michael are barely able to pay themselves, but they've just expanded their business to produce eggs from 180 chickens.
Hello, chicken.
Oh.
Hey, ladies.
So this is interesting. It's on wheels, I see.
Yeah, I just built this from scratch. It's all automated with timers and stuff for the doors, so
Wow.
yeah.
Fancy chicken house.
Yeah.
Living in luxury.
Fancier than our house.
Yeah.
For sure.
The tiny house was pretty good practice, so it's just like a smaller tiny house.
It's actually the same tin as our tiny house. It's like
No.
a chicken tiny house.
So we kind of move this whole paddock every few days, like 2 or 3 days. So means they can scratch away at it and get all the bugs, and then we can kind of move on, you know, so they get fresh grass, and then this spot gets, you know, a long time to recover, so it'll be full of kind of biodiversity and plant life.
Yeah. Hi, ladies. Oh, hello. Do you fancy a bit of wheelchair for your dinner? It's not edible.
Please do not eat.
Oh. So how hard has this been for you guys, this whole project?
For the hens,
With everything, the hens, the whole farming thing.
I think people romanticize farming a lot and this whole, like, you know, self-sufficient lifestyle, but you know, it's hard work. It's more work actually, I think, you know, than a normal sort of 9-to-5 job, but if you're passionate about it and that's what you love, then it's not so much work, you know.
Yeah.
If I was in an office at the computer, like, I'd be crawling up the walls just to get out, so. Watch out, ladies. So yeah, we collect these eggs just from the little flaps here.
So are you guys living off eggs these days then?
Yeah, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Yeah.
Fried eggs for
Oh,
breakfast every morning. Maybe that's why we're eating all the profits.
Yeah, I know. We really
We gotta
start
stop it, yeah.
Lunch today comes entirely from Alex and Michael's produce. Spinach quiche with salad.
Have you ever had any regrets about changing your life?
No, because it's like challenged us in ways, and we have so cheesy say we've become better people, I think, because you just realize what's important, like family, being happy, like being somewhat comfortable. Like there really is no pressure to, like, you know, keep up with everybody and do, you know, certain things and go on the best holidays and kind of, you know, there's no pressure to keep up. So no, I don't think I do regret it, you know.
I feel like you're such a wise woman for such a young person,
I think
Alex.
so. That's very kind of you
I
to say
feel that, yeah.
I don't feel it at all. I'm very much a very underconfident person, so like I have to stop every so often and realize that like we have achieved quite a lot, you know, like, and it's not the normal, like I haven't got a mortgage in a fancy house, but like it's good enough for us, you know, so it's like stopping and making sure that we do appreciate, you know, that we've come quite far. But I think as well it's important to say that it hasn't always been easy. There have been days where I'm like, I would like to just be normal.
Really?
I would love to have people over more and like see my family more, but we had to make some sacrifices.
I appreciate that.
So we could pour the egg in here, pour it in until you think.
I think for these guys, to be living a life so fulfilled at that age, because I often think about myself when I was younger, my drivers were certainly not about living with principles. I didn't really know what my principles were. I was just having fun. But these are two young people who are they've taken a different path in life very deliberately because they have ideals. Oh, will do.
It smells pretty good.
Doesn't it? It does.
We do say so ourselves.
Oh, that's really good.
Quite nice, isn't it? Quite nice.
It strikes me how inspiring you are. You're kind of creative and you see the opportunities where perhaps other people won't. You would see, you know, a field and think, oh, that could be somewhere I would live. But where other people might not see that, you seem to see that. That there are solutions out there.
And just being open-minded as well, like not closing too many doors if you get a few no's. Like we got quite a lot of no's when we were looking somewhere to build the house. So we're like, no, you can't. Just keep on like going and
you
just...
can't give up at the first hurdle, you know, and just kind of don't be afraid of barriers. You know, there's barriers to everything, but anything's doable. Like, it's not always the easiest path, but...
Maybe the more rewarding path.
I think so,
I think
yeah.
you're right. I think
if it's
you're
for
right.
you, it's for you. And
Best eggs I've ever had. And the salad's brilliant as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, to know that you've made all of this, it's very special.
it's like there's nothing
Yeah, it's nothing
magic or
fancy
special, but
at
just-
all, you know, it's just so...
It's like a metaphor for your life.
Yeah, isn't it? A simple salad.
It's wonderful to be around. It's very inspiring. I think in their home and in their farm, Alex and Michael have created a world in which they make minimal impact on the planet. They live basically and they live simply. And I think that could be a solution for a number of people, not just young people who are struggling, you know, to find the resources or even the opportunity to get on the housing ladder. I think Alex and Michael just need less stuff. They have got rid of the clutter and they are happier for it. They are living in a less complicated way. And I think that's what I'm going to take from this, is that in spending time with them, I've realised that when it comes to living, sometimes less is more.
As I left Alex and Michael, I was struck by the life they've found, living their lives simply and sustainably. I'm back in England, in the Lake District, and it's difficult not to feel further drawn to nature.
Look at this. It is absolutely perfect. There's not a cloud in the sky. There's some snow on the mountaintops. It's stunning.
I'm here to meet Amira, who leads a group called Wanderlust Women.
Hi. I'm okay. I'm Sophie. Hi.
Welcome to the Lake District.
What a beautiful day.
It's an adventure retreat organisation exclusively for Muslim women.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sophie.
Nice to
Hi.
How are you?
Very, very good. I'm really excited to meet you all.
Welcome to the north.
Thank you very much.
So these guys have been with me since my very first retreat.
We've been addicted.
Yeah, they caught the bug. Yeah.
Amazing.
Mary's travelled quite far today as well.
Yeah.
Have you?
She's come from Blackburn.
Okay.
Manchester.
This morning.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it?
Worth it.
I feel it. I feel it. Should we get going?
Number one skill, learn how to open the gate.
See how good are you?
At a time in her life when Amira was feeling lost, she found comfort in the Lake District.
Is everyone in? Yay! And this is what consists of most of our hikes. Lots of photos.
I love it, love it, love it.
And shared her adventures on social media.
I made an Instagram page and there was a positive response of that, oh, you know, it's so amazing what you're doing. And to me, it was normal, but to them, obviously they hadn't seen women like me do, you know, climbing or hiking or swimming or rock climbing.
So that's the sort of things you guys get up to?
Yeah,
hiking, climbing.
Honestly, I realised there wasn't other people that, you know, who looked like me and that representation.
Okay.
I felt like there wasn't a space where, you know, we can connect with other people and just sort of heal and have a community, and especially for women that have been through trauma. And I thought, you know, let's just create something. You know, when I started, I would think, you know, would I be able to do it because my dress and would I fit in? But now I feel like, no, it doesn't matter because I can still do it. And I realised that it's not just about taking these women out. I want to deliver courses and give them the skill set to become confident.
And teach.
And teach. We've like turned into like a big community and a tribe within the outdoor space.
You found your tribe.
Yeah, that's it. You know, before I didn't have anyone to hike with. and now we've got so many women from all over UK who, you know, are desperate to join and they want to be a part of this.
Do you ever sleep? On a mountain?
Maybe.
Amira's story started similarly to many. Before she came here, Amira had a typical 9-to-5 job in Bolton as a beauty therapist and was married.
You have that sort of pressure where your aim is to get married and have kids, and I had that in my head. Yeah, and after my divorce, I went back to my job and I just didn't really like it anymore, and I just felt like I didn't really belong there. I just left my job. I told my parents that I'm going to be going to Lake District for a month just to do some travelling and some work. And then 6 months just flew by. They sort of knew I was in the Lake District. I think they were probably slightly concerned. They were like, what are you doing? Like, you're in the mountains all the time. like, what's going on? Like, are you having a crisis? Their concerns, you know, things like, you know, like racism and Islamophobia, which, you know, are things which we've had to deal with.
Have you?
Yeah, and, you know, like comments that you get and just different things.
What sort of comments have you had?
We don't see people like you here, or we've actually had people like tell us to go back home, back to our country and stuff. I think their main concern was that, you know, you're coming to an area like this and are you going to be okay? And I think now that they've seen the work that I'm doing and, you know, all how much exploration, how it's helping people, they're happy to see that. It was like, do you know when you finally find a purpose and you finally find like your calling?
Look at this, look where we are.
Oh, that's Ullswater just there.
That is there.
Yeah. And then you can see Helvellyn, which is just over there. That's famous for it's like ridge walking.
Oh, thank you for bringing me here. It's amazing.
So just, it's so peaceful.
It's really pretty spectacular to be up there on the ridgeline with Amira and the Wanderlust women, and two things were crossing my mind. One, how often do you see a wheelchair user and a group of Muslim women out walking in the Lake District? It just felt really defiant and like really great. Like, I loved it. I felt really proud to be there amongst them.
What a spot.
So beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a perfect spot now for our second prayer of the day. I've got my travel prayer mat that I take with me everywhere, and this has travelled to so many mountains all over the world, yeah. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to reface the direction, which is called the Qibla, and it's to the Kaaba. And so I have an app over here, and that will then show me the way. Okay, and then that is that way. And then what we do is we just set down our prayer mats. So we usually just put like rocks down to like
hold it down.
all natural resources. We need some bigger.
Oh no! Here comes the snow. So you Wanderlust women do this together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We help each other.
We help each other out. Oh, perfect.
There you go.
Thank you.
So how's being part of the Wanderlust women changed your life?
I'm really grateful to Amira. It's really changed my life. She introduced me to the love of the outdoors, and it's something that I've been searching for so long, but I just didn't have the confidence to get up and go and just be in the mountains and in the countryside. But coming with Amira and being with like-minded women as well, and in that support group, it just changed everything for me. It's fantastic.
I had so much stress going on with work. I was burnt out. You know, you attend a retreat sort of really drained and exhausted, and by the end of it, you feel like a new person. I mean, and that's why people keep coming back. You know, she's changed so many lives. It's unreal.
I find being in the lakes and being in the mountains and just being in nature really uplifting personally. But then to add into that, this experience of sitting and watching these women so deep in prayer, it was very, very moving. They were so gentle and so, you know, in the moment, and that kind of encouraged me to be in the moment. And at first I felt a little bit like I shouldn't be there, it's their space and I shouldn't intrude. But I actually just decided to soak it up and witness it. You can't be in an environment like that in nature and not feel connected to something. It felt very spiritual.
So that's our prayer done. It's like a form of meditation.
It's beautiful to watch. Amira is living proof that even if a place might feel inaccessible or that you don't belong, you're not welcome, that if you want it enough, if you believe in it enough, you can create a sense of belonging. And that's exactly what she's done. And I mean, I think that's what we all want, is a place that we can call home, whatever that is for you, whether that is a house or whether that is just the mountains, whatever that might be. I mean, I don't know what that is for me yet. I haven't found it, but I think I'm getting close. Next time, I go off the beaten track. Wow, it really is as remote as you said it was.
And cut loose in Scotland. To discover how healing a new life can be.
Like, absolutely unbelievable just how, how lovely everyone was. Really? Yeah.